Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Anahar and welcome back for another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the iOS Springboard review. We're just going to be reviewing iOS's Springboard. So, right now, a lot of you don't really know what iOS Springboard really means. So, I'm just going to try to tell you. So, first thing, Samsung uses Android, but they don't call it Android. What they call it is One UI. When it comes to Huawei phones, they also use Android, but what they call it, they don't call it Android, they call it EMUI. Then we have other companies like Color OS, Oxygen OS, and many other brands use different names for the same operating system, and that is Android. When it comes to iOS, aka the iPhone or an iPad, they don't call it iOS, they call it the iOS Springboard, just to make it easier for an average consumer. Just because an average consumer cannot know the complexities of software naming, development, and all those kind of names of different versions like iOS 13.5.1 or maybe the iOS 13.4. A lot of people don't know what these numbers really mean. So what Apple likes to call it, or many companies like to call it, is they want to call it a really usable name that can be used by an average consumer, that is easier for them to understand, and so they can further make a decision to buy any kind of device what they want to sell you. So today we're going to be reviewing the iOS Springboard, aka the iOS user interface. So that is what Springboard means. Let's get on with the video. Alright, so now that a lot of you know what iOS Springboard really means, so let's get on with the real deal. Starting off with the user interface, is we have the first thing, that is the home screen. The home screen of the iPhone is pretty minimalistic if you take a look at that. So all we have is a grid of icons with four columns, and I think 6 or 7 or maybe even 5 rows depending upon the device which you own. So if you are owning a device like the iPhone X or the 10s or 11, it may have 7 rows, but if you are owning an iPhone 7 Plus or an 8 Plus, it might have 6 rows, but if you have an iPhone 8, 7, 6, it might have 5 rows, or depending upon the device, and so on. But there's something else. If you take a look at the other side of iOS Springboard, that is the Android ecosystem, you get a ton more in terms of the home screen design. You get widgets, you get crazy search bars, you get all those customizable widgets, you get live wallpapers and all that kind of stuff. But iOS is really taking it simple. All you have are apps and nothing more than that. Alright, so when I said that iOS has a really simple design, now a lot of people are gonna hate on me saying that, oh, iOS has also it also has widgets and all that kind of stuff. Now I know that iOS has widgets, but it keeps them in a widget drawer, or what they like to call is widget shelf. So what you have to do to access it is you have to swipe from the left corner to the right corner on your home screen, and then you get all that widget shelves. But technically I've been using iOS for over 2 months, and not even once I found it useful. Like, it's just a gimmick, and not an average consumer want to use it, because Apple likes to target average consumers with their everyday products, services, and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think that the widget shelf is a useful thing for an average consumer. Let's get on with some other aspects of the user interface, aka the iOS Springboard of iPhone. Alright, so no software is complete, or no user interface is complete, without a notification center or status bar or notification bar or whatever you want to call it, but it is really important. So if you take a look at the iOS notification panel or notification bar, I think it's really simple. It is based on the iOS lock screen. Is basically the same thing as the iOS lock screen. I don't know, a company with $1 trillion cannot figure out how to differentiate between a notification bar and a lock screen. Like literally, that's really hilarious for Apple to do that. But if you take a look at the Android side, I think it's way more balanced on the Android side. Like you have a different lock screen, you have a different notification center every single year, and I think it's pretty bummer thing to see that iOS really failed to, you know, make up a difference between a lock screen and a notification panel. So notification panel is really simple, but I don't think it's really simple enough for an average consumer. Like it's really way too much simple. Like not everything is bad. Like too much of everything is bad, and too much of simplicity equals bad. I guess. Am I still looking cool? Oh, you're still here. You're still watching my video. That's pretty cool. I don't know, you could do that. So now that you're here, like you're halfway through the video, why not like this video and subscribe to the channel? Also, try to leave some comments down there just to have my channel pop up into other people's searches, I guess. Right, now that we've done exploring the home screen, the notification panel, let's get on to the real deal. Let's get into all the applications. Now, starting off with YouTube, WhatsApp, YouTube Studio, and all those other social apps. Now, this is the part where you start to see the beauty of iOS. Every single application is really polished enough to give you one of the best experiences of the smartphone industry. No other software can replicate the polishment of in-app experience, user experience that iOS has, you know, given me. So if you take a look at Android, I don't think that apps are really polished enough on this platform. But when it comes to other, you know, softwares, like we've got KaiOS, we've got Baidu OS, we've got really ton of operating systems when it comes to the smartphone business. But I don't really think that the in-app experience has been better on any of them except for iOS, because when a dark mode comes, for example, dark mode, like some application just introduces a new dark mode. So they introduce one dark mode for a ton of operating systems. When it comes to iOS, they have to introduce a different kind of dark mode that Apple wants, because Apple has end-to-end control on their operating system. So I don't think that you're gonna have a bad experience or in-app experience on iOS. All you have to do is you have to buy an iPhone that's really overpriced and then get the in-app experience. And I don't think that you're gonna hate the in-app experience on an iPhone, because it's really great, it's really polished, and it's really well optimized for an average consumer. This is where iOS really shines, and this is why I think it still managed to hold up on its Apple ecosystem and the Apple fan base. Overall comes down to personal preference between Android and iOS, and I think that both the platforms are really refined. They're really great on their own weaknesses and strengths. Everyone really needs a balanced life, and I think that Android and iOS have created a balanced environment in the tech ecosystem and the tech industry. Anyway, this is it for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. You can even subscribe to this channel. Did you know that? I know you know that. So you can even subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next video.